Exactly how much does it cost to live here, and how much house can you get for your money? In this video, we're going to talk about the cost of living in Marietta, Georgia. Hey everyone, my name is Victor and I'm a licensed real estate agent here in Georgia. In this video, we're going to talk about the cost of living in Marietta, Georgia. I have tons of people who are calling me, texting me all the time, asking me how to make the transition here to Marietta. And to be honest, I love making these videos and I love making content about my hometown. But more than that, I love helping people make the move here to Marietta, Georgia. Feel free to call me, text me, email me anytime. I'm more than happy to help. With that being said, let's get right into the video. According to the website worldpopulationreview.com, Georgia is the 9th least expensive state to live in of all the states in the US, which means that only 8 states in the US are less expensive to live in than Georgia. Here in Georgia, the median home value is about $250,000 for a home. In Marietta, it's a little higher at $300,000 to $325,000 for a home. In the rest of the video, I'll split up the 3 areas of Marietta: West Marietta, Downtown, and East Marietta, to talk specifically about the home value and the cost of living in each of those parts of Marietta. One important factor to consider when thinking about the cost of living in Marietta is that there is not really public transportation here in Marietta. Most people who live here have their own vehicle, which of course requires monthly maintenance or regular maintenance for that vehicle. It's possible that in downtown Marietta, where Marietta Square is, you could do without a vehicle there if you worked close to downtown Marietta and lived there as well. Many of the businesses and residential areas there in downtown Marietta are pretty close in proximity, making it possible to live in that area and not necessarily have a vehicle. As for the east and west parts of Marietta, you most likely would need a vehicle there, as most of the businesses and residential areas are not very close in proximity. Because home values are relatively low in Marietta, that also means that property taxes are relatively low here as well. A huge benefit of living in Marietta is that people over 65 years old no longer have to pay for the school tax with their property taxes, which makes up about half of the value of the property tax. In the west part of Marietta, otherwise known as West Cobb, the median home value is about $350,000. Majority of the homes in the west part of Marietta were built in the 80s and 90s, with a few homes built in the early 2000s. There are a few new builds in this part of Marietta, but that is not very common. The main road that runs through the west part of Marietta is Dallas Highway, with the majority of businesses and restaurants right around there off of Dallas Highway. The west part of Marietta also has really good schools. According to greatschools.org, the majority of the schools there are ranked at about an 8 out of 10, which is a really big draw for a lot of people who move to that part of Marietta. Downtown Marietta, or where Marietta Square is also a great area to live. The median home value there is about $300,000, with the age of the homes having a much wider range than the rest of Marietta. Because that was one of the earliest parts of Marietta to be settled, there are a lot of homes there that were built in the 1800s and some even built in the early 1900s, 1910s and 1920s. But you can also find some more modern homes there built in the 80s and 90s, and some newer condos built in the 2000s. One of the big draws to living in downtown Marietta is obviously Marietta Square, a very popular area for a lot of people to go and visit. They have Glover Park in the middle, which is a great area to hang out, bring your friends and family. Also, the shops and the restaurants around the square are very popular. And Saturday mornings, they have the farmers market that is super popular with a lot of people who live here in Marietta. The east part of Marietta, or East Cobb, has a median home value of about $500,000. The school district in that area is fantastic, a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 on greatschools.org. Also, the homes in that area are much newer, 90s and 2000s. Johnson Ferry Road is the main road that runs through the east part of Marietta, with the majority of the residential and commercial areas right around that road. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're thinking about moving to Marietta or have any questions about moving here, feel free to call, text, email anytime. I'm more than happy to help. See you in the next video.